What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai Master Grade Raijin Striker Pack from Gundam Seed Eclipse. Based on the Lightning Striker Pack, it enhances the Eclipse Gundam's firepower, thrust, and power supply. In this incredibly thick box, you'll find yourself with 12 runners, an included stand, and a sheet of water decals. And perhaps to my unwarranted surprise, 5 of the runners are reused from the Lightning Striker Pack. As a result, for those of you who have built that kit before, you'll feel a heavy sense of familiarity. Beyond that, the build is quite lengthy thanks to the high parts counts, but straightforward nonetheless. And while the rich colors can lead to awful nub marks, the gate placement ensures that none of them stick out after a brief cleanup. Otherwise, there's not much to add with regards to the build. Straight build complete, and the Raijin Striker looks sharp, and that goes literally as well, so be careful when you're handling it. Despite being based on the Lightning Striker, it's only when you look closely do you make out the similarities, especially on the wing units and composite pods. Outside of that, the use of a multitude of extra fins, spoilers and armor pieces, and especially the new cannons and visor unit differentiate it from its roots. The proportions and color separations are done really well, matching the design line arts with no stickers to speak of, and the clear orange and neon yellow add a nice accent to what would be a rather boring color scheme. There's also a healthy amount of panel lining to bring out, but as it is, the Raijin Striker looks display ready as an independent flyer straight from the box. In terms of moving parts, the arm that holds up the visor has 3 points of bending, as well as a rotation at the base, while the tail units can move up and down, as well as possess 3 opening thruster panels. The entire wing assembly can rotate, very tightly might I add. The cannons are on a double hinge and a rotation, and possess an opening panel for venting heat, I'm guessing, while the composite pod and their extra wings are on dodgy polycap ball joints. The pods themselves also feature moving panels to activate the overdrive mode. All in all, aside from the polycap ball joints for the pods, it's a very mobile booster. To dock the Raijin onto the Eclipse, first take the visor unit off and plug it onto the Eclipse's head. The head crest plugs into the visor, while there are tabs that are held on by the V-fin itself, so it is an extra solid connection. As for the pack, you fold the arm back and position the cannons so that they go over the booster before plugging it into the back of the Eclipse. Obviously, with that amount of weight on the already unbalanced Eclipse, there is no hope in hell that it would stand. So, an adapter is included to plug the Striker Pack onto the included action base. What you end up with is the Raijin Eclipse Gundam, as I like to call it, essentially wearing a mask and carrying a booster bed with some strapped on cannons. And honestly, I'm not big on the looks, not in this mode, minus how they match the colors of the Striker to the Gundam perfectly, aside if you get the combined package. The mask looks ridiculous, and the way the Raijin Striker sticks out with no real care to make it mesh well really aren't to my liking. Plus, the only real thing that it adds is the Type 71XX bending beam cannons positioned over the kit, if not for the massive weight issues that made the kit even more unwieldy, especially if you use 2 action bases like the instructions suggest and coordinate them for a simple pose. Looks are subjective, but I cannot deny that it is indeed a massive hassle to get anything, if at all, out of this configuration. However, one saving grace of the Raijin Striker is the mobile armor mode looks. You simply spin the grey arm around and reattach the mask before carefully maneuvering the parts around the Eclipse Gundam and docking it onto its back in its alt mode. This right here is the pièce de résistance of the Raijin Striker. Apart from adding the cannons onto this warship, which it desperately needs, the composite pods look like extra mobile suit containers, while the pack itself adds a bit of bulk to the bare back of the Eclipse, filling it out with an extra fuselage and all of the wings and fins. Yes, the hanging mask is still ridiculous depending on who you ask, but the one jarring issue this mode suffers from is the mandatory need to coordinate both action bases in order to prop the kit up. It also takes up a crap ton of space because of it, so that's something else to consider. But once you get everything perfectly set up, the action bases will help you maintain the form of the Raijin Eclipse in mobile armor mode. Frankly, I might keep mine this way on display. For leftovers, you get a collection of parts left over from the Lightning Striker, as well as some duplicate parts from the new runners. Unless you're a genius or you need some random pipes or chest plates, I don't see much use for them at all. In the end, I didn't touch up the kit because I do have plans for it and the Eclipse Gundam. However, I'd say it's a suit yourself at the very most. Based on the Lightning Striker, yet not adding much to or changing much of the overall kit other than tripling the weight issues, I struggle to identify one reason why one would get the Raijin Striker other than liking it or needing it for a custom build. To me, striker packs are all about changing the entire capabilities of the mobile suit, be it the sword for melee, launcher for high firepower, ale for atmospheric flight and mobility, or even lightning for ultra long range sniping, as ridiculous as that sounds. The Raijin Striker just feels generic in comparison, adding only the cannons, the power supply, and of course looking cool to sell more gunpla. While the striker pack itself definitely has its display value, it's definitely more form over function. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.